guys, as you can see, over the time I was gone in Missouri, I did go bald. My mom forced me at gunpoint to get a haircut and said, you know, you look stupid, get a haircut. So I got my hair chopped off. I'll grow into it though. But I left the poll up on my story on Instagram asking if y'all would want me to do a series where I, previewed each playoff possibility for the Saints in the divisional round. And I was like, yeah, sure. That's a really good idea. I should do that. So there are three possibilities for the Saints in the divisional round. That is versus the Eagles, versus the Cowboys, and versus the Seahawks. And one of those I'm not okay with, and two of them I'm not really afraid. But the first one I'd like to go over is the one against the Seattle Seahawks, aka the one I'm most scared of. Period. I'm scared of this game, and we're going to get into why. So, playoff, this is one of the scenarios that could happen, the Saints versus Seahawks in the divisional round. So the Seattle Seahawks, they have experienced a huge end of the season surge to push them towards the playoffs. Most people thought that they weren't going to be going after they started the season kind of slow, but Russell Wilson and everybody else picked up, and they've been having a great end of the season. They ended the season with going 6-2 out of their last 8 games. They ended the season with a 10-6 record, only behind the Los Angeles Rams in their division. They beat the Chiefs a couple weeks ago. So the Seahawks are a red hot team. Russell Wilson has been playing phenomenal football, as have anyone else on their team. This is the one game we should fear out of the three possibilities. The Seattle Seahawks offense is 7th in the league with 26.8 points per game. It's pretty good. And against a defense, the Saints, that is so off and on and seems to play a little bit worse in the dome than on the road, which makes a little, no sense at all. But this is a game that we need to take extremely serious going into the playoffs. The Seahawks, like I said, have been red hot over the past 8 weeks, winning 6 out of their 8 games, losing to the Los Angeles Rams and San Francisco 49ers, 2 divisional opponents. So, you can't really, knock them too much. They lost to the 49ers. It wasn't a blowout or anything. They went into overtime. The 49ers are not a terrible team. They have lost a lot of games in a very close fashion, which sucks, but is the reality to things in the NFL. Look out for Seattle. They are hungry. They got into the playoffs off of going 6-2 in their last 8 games. They wanted this more than anything. And Russell Wilson is a quarterback. Out of the 3 teams that we have a possibility of playing, he has the most experience in the NFL, and he has the most experience when it comes to playoff games. So this is something that needs to not be taken lightly, and we need to be afraid of the Seahawks. We need to go into the game playing the Seahawks like we're in the Super Bowl. I really like what Sean Payton did last week. We did get blown out by the Panthers, but it was all at good cause. We lost the game 33-14, but we conserved all of what we needed to conserve for the playoffs to be a unpredictable team. If we would have gave them one last glimpse at our playbook, that would have been bad. Things change over a 3-4 week time period. Sean Payton's going to draw some plays up because we have a football game to play in 2 weeks. January 13th, we're playing one of these teams, and if we have to play the Seahawks, we need to play good defense. Something that the Saints were doing last week against Carolina, some of y'all were for some reason scared, but we were playing soft coverage. We weren't blitzing, we were playing zone, staying in zone, just trying to get the game over with so that, no injuries happened. As y'all seen on the first drive, Sheldon Rankins got banged up and so did Alex Okafor. After that, we started playing soft coverage. Just playing little zone, playing relaxed, trying to get out of week 17 without anyone getting hurt. We could have played hard. We could have played as hard as everyone, Saints fans wanted us to play for some reason. But we didn't, and it was smart on Sean Payton's part. Saved us a lot of trouble with teams knowing our playbook. It preserves unpredictability, and it, injuries. It helps with injuries. The Seahawks are a healthy team and have had a very dominant run game over the past, season span. They are literally the best in the league at running the football. They average 160 rushing yards a game, which is actually ridiculous. The Seahawks are the only team in NFL history, or one of the only teams in NFL history, to have a 1,000-yard rusher and 300-yard rushers. That is actually crazy, but the Saints are suited to defend a team like this. We have the number 2 because we allowed 111 rushing yards last week to the Panthers. But excluding Week 17, we have the number 1 rush defense in the NFL. So we are suited, if anyone else in the league, we are suited to play the Seattle Seahawks hard and, win the game in the trenches. The Seattle Seahawks have, at the beginning of the season, had a ton of offensive line struggles. In November, they were ranked the 20th worst or best defensive or offensive line in the NFL. All things, they have fixed each other. They have fixed it. They have fixed their offensive line immensely. It has become, a cornerstone to their offense, which is why they have averaged 160 rushing yards a game. But the Saints' defensive line has been extremely dominant this year. The Saints' defensive line has had 49 sacks this entire year, with about 30 of them coming in with the final stretch of the season. The Saints have been playing extremely good on the defensive side of the ball. The defensive line is a huge part in that. Cameron Jordan is the cornerstone of the entire defense. He ended the year with 12 sacks. Sheldon Rankins had, I think, 8. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure he had 8 sacks. Marcus Davenport had 4.5 sacks on the season, but a lot of that is because he was dealing with injury. He could have had so much more, but he messed up his foot and was sidelined for a month or two and hasn't had a significant amount of play time whatsoever the past couple of weeks. This is a game that is going to be extremely close. Extremely close. If we have to play the Seattle Seahawks, we're going to win by a touchdown or lose by a touchdown. We're going to win by a field goal or lose by a field goal. This is going to be a game, I'm telling you guys right now, that is going to be extremely difficult to win. Do I think we could do it in the Mercedes-Benz Superdome? Yes, of course. I feel like we can beat anybody in the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. Literally anybody. We can beat that 16-0 season the Patriots had. We could have been the one loss they had if we played them in the Mercedes-Benz Superdome this year. Our home field advantage is ridiculous. I think that the Saints have a chance at winning this game, but I also feel like the Seahawks have a strong chance of winning this game. It's going to be won in the trenches. It's going to be rough, but we have to go out and get it done. In my eyes, this game is going to come down to 2 things. That's going to be if we can stop Seattle's rushing attack and if we can contain Russell Wilson. We have to get pressure on Russell Wilson, have him, running around the pocket a little bit, throwing off passes. Our defensive line has to play up to standard, and they have to abuse the Seattle Seahawks offensive line like teams have done in weeks past, because if we can't get Russell Wilson off his game, he will pick. He's a veteran quarterback that is extremely accurate, that can run extremely fast, and can do a lot of crazy, extremely dangerous things. That man's Instagram name is Dangerous R. Wilson for a reason. I'm telling y'all right now, the keys to winning this game: locking up Russell Wilson in the pocket, putting pressure on him, and stopping that dominant 160-yard per game averaging Seattle Seahawks run offense. This is going to be a lot. The Saints are biting off a lot with this game. If the Seahawks beat the Cowboys in the wild card round, it's going to be a very difficult game to win. But I know and I trust that the Saints can do it, because we have shown week by week by week that we are the best team in the NFL, and this playoffs is the time to go out and prove it. Drew Brees, veteran leadership. Michael Thomas, most receptions in the league. Alvin Kamara, shiftiness. Mark Ingram's powerfulness. The offensive line only allowing 20 sacks on the season, with the defense getting 49. There's a lot going for us this playoffs. We just need to go out there and dominate like we have in weeks past. So thank you guys for watching. This is what the Saints versus Seahawks, if it happens, if it doesn't. This is just me, going over the possibility of this happening. This is my playoff possibility series, so expect one for the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles coming out soon. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe, do all that fancy stuff, and I'll see you all in the next one. Adios. What the